The Hawaiian sun beat down on Private Robert E. Lee Prewitt as he stepped off the transport and onto the unfamiliar ground of Schofield Barracks. Sweat trickled down his back, a sensation uncomfortably familiar from his days in the Kentucky sun. The air hung heavy with the scent of plumeria and the distant rumble of military machinery, a stark contrast to the serene farmlands of his youth. Prewitt, a man of few words and even fewer smiles, adjusted the duffel bag on his shoulder, his gaze sweeping over the sprawling base. He was a man out of place, a seasoned soldier starting fresh in a new company. Prewitt carried with him the memories of his past, the echo of taps on his bugle, the sting of sweat in his eyes during grueling boxing matches, and the bitter taste of a court-martial that had led him to request a transfer. He had left behind a life he could no longer bear, hoping to find solace in the anonymity of a vast military base. Schofield Barracks, with its palm trees swaying in the Pacific breeze and the looming silhouette of Diamond Head in the distance, promised a fresh start, a chance to escape the ghosts that haunted him. As he walked towards the barracks, the sounds of laughter and the strumming of a ukulele drifted from the open windows. He could hear the boisterous camaraderie of men who had forged bonds in the crucible of military life. Prewitt, a lone wolf by nature, felt a familiar pang of isolation. He yearned for the simplicity of the boxing ring where the only rules were the ones enforced by the referee and the only language spoken was that of fists and footwork. But boxing was in the past, a chapter he had closed, or so he believed. Captain Dana Holmes, a man who prided himself on his ability to read his men, saw something different in Prewitt. He saw a natural boxer, a fighter with raw talent hidden beneath the stoic facade. Holmes, eager to add another trophy to his company's collection, saw Prewitt as his ticket to glory. He saw the young private not as a man seeking anonymity, but as a weapon to be honed and wielded in the ring. "You're a natural, Prewitt," Holmes had said, his voice laced with an almost desperate eagerness. "I've seen you spar. You could be a champion." But Prewitt remained unmoved. "I'm a bugler, Captain," he replied, his voice flat, devoid of any emotion. "Not a boxer." Prewitt had sworn never to box again, a promise he made to himself after a particularly brutal fight that had left an indelible mark on his soul. Holmes, however, was a man used to getting his way. He saw Prewitt's refusal as a challenge, a test of wills. He wouldn't let a talented fighter slip through his fingers, not when there was glory to be had. He began a campaign of subtle pressure, assigning Prewitt menial tasks, singling him out for extra drills, all the while dangling the promise of an easier life if he would only agree to join the boxing team. Prewitt, however, remained unyielding. He endured the punishments, the taunts, and the isolation with stoic silence. He found solace in the rhythmic routine of barracks life, the familiar feel of his bugle and the quiet companionship of Angelo Maggio, a fellow soldier who sensed the turmoil brewing beneath Prewitt's quiet exterior.